What's up, everybody? Big news coming out of Detroit Lions training camp, answering a question we have been asking all season. Well, kind of answering it. And that is the question of, is Jeff Okudah going to be ready and going to be healthy to play for the Detroit Lions this season? And I'm just going to share this with you real quick. There was an interview done with defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. I mean, that's a pretty good place to look at it. And Aaron Glenn had this to say about Jeff Okudah. He said, we have to get the injury bug off him so he can end up playing for us so we can see exactly what we got. He told this to Adam Schefter. He said, the thing is, we think we know what we got, but we have to be able to see it. But I'll tell you, I give this player credit for busting his, we're going to say the nice word for it, butt off in the offseason and trying to get exactly where he needs to get so he can be in the plans for us. So I'm looking forward to him having a really good camp, just like he did last year, but I'm looking forward to him being on the field 17 games for us this year and going to the playoffs. So a couple things that I want to talk about in this one. And I think this is important to note. He said 17 games. That means that he believes Jeff Okudah is healthy enough not only to suit up for the first game, but he also feels confident enough that he is going to suit up in every single game. So here's the thing. He goes on to talk further, but we're going to talk about that in a second because there's two more takeaways I have from this interview. But the first one is, when a coach is confident enough to say to the media that he expects his player to play week one, that means that they have really good initial reports. That is backed up by something even further, which is the PUP list came out, and guess whose name was not on it? Jeff Okudah. The PUP list, physically unable to perform list. He wasn't on it. Jeff Okudah wasn't on it. So that means that he is healthy enough to at least partake in some drills and things like that at the training camp. Like, that's a big deal, everybody. 10 months ago, this guy tore his Achilles. 10 months. And he's back. You know who is on the PUP list? Romeo Okwara, the other guy who tore his Achilles. There's a couple more names on it. We're going to do another video on that. But Jeff Okudah is back. We need to see what we're getting from this guy. So I'm kind of excited to see. I don't know if he's going to be playing in the preseason. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if he's going to bring him along slowly. I'm just not sure. But let's look back at this article because there's more that this has to say. If you go down below, he says, Schefter asked Glenn if all 17 games was a realistic goal and expectation for the third-year cornerback, and he did not back down. So here he is, and he's going back for more, and he says that's exactly the expectations for that player. That's exactly the expectation, and he knows that. We challenge him to that. And the thing about him, he is going to accept that challenge. And here's what we know about Jeff Okudah. He's not a guy that goes easy on himself. He accepts challenge. He is his own worst critic. In fact, sometimes too much. I don't know if you guys remember last year, the big spat that he had with Aubrey Pleasant. I don't know if you remember it, where Aubrey Pleasant was going off on him in the sidelines. And if you talk, or was it 2 years ago? But anyways, if you talk and you hear from some of the other reporters and the things that they're doing, what you realize quickly is that is because he was so hard on himself that he didn't have that quick memory that a cornerback needs to have. See, they say in the NFL and in college that a cornerback has to have a quick memory. In other words, if they mess up, get over it, fix it, get on to the next play. It doesn't mean quick memory in the fact that forget everything that you did wrong. No, what it means is don't make the same mistake again, but at the same time, you're a corner. You're going to get beat. It's just going to happen. Sometimes in basketball, you play great defense and you get beat by good offense. Sometimes as a corner, you're going to make a mistake or you're going to get beat by a wide receiver who just makes a fantastic play. And Jeff Okudah is really hard on himself. And I think when we look at Jeff Okudah all the way back to college at Ohio State, his senior year was so stupid successful that he wasn't used to having any problems. I think he only allowed like 5 or 6 complete. It was stupid. How good a defense he played, people stayed away from him. So then all of a sudden, year one, as a rookie, he starts getting picked on. He starts giving up um catches, he starts giving up touchdowns, and he's getting really hard on himself. And the coaches are like, Jeff, like, this is the NFL. You will get beat from time to time. And he just really struggled understanding that. So we know he's a guy. I know I got off on a tangent there for a little bit, but we know Jeff Okudah is a guy that's not going to be easy on himself. He's going to be hard on himself. So I think when Aaron Glenn says that's the expectation we have for him, and he's okay with that, he understands that expectation. Jeff Okudah probably has an expectation that's even higher on himself. We've seen the videos, we've seen the workout videos, and if you haven't, go check them out. He's released 2 or 3 at least different workout videos of him doing things, talking about how he's blessed, talking about how recovery is going well, and all these things. And the fact that he's not on the PUP list means that he wasn't blowing smoke. And I don't think Glenn is blowing smoke either. It would do Aaron Glenn no good to say that there's the expectation for Jeff Okudah to be ready and playing in all 17 games if he wasn't actually healthy enough to participate and start playing football. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if we'll see him in the preseason. I don't know if they want to risk that or not, but he's a guy that must be at the point where he's pretty much ready to play. Now, the question becomes, what percent of Jeff Okudah are we going to see? Are we going to see a Jeff Okudah that was like a guy that had like 90% confidence and 100% physical ability turn into a guy that has 100% confidence and a 90 to 95% physical ability? The question is, what will that torn Achilles do to him? I think that's the really big question that we have to ask ourselves. Because if you're a cornerback and you're only 90% of what you were before, or even 95, it's not good enough. And Jeff Okudah struggled his rookie year. So I think what's going to be really interesting, and we can watch this on Hard Knocks, we can watch this in preseason possibly, and we'll definitely be able to see it in the regular season. Does he have the same burst? Does he have the acceleration, the speed, the cutting ability, the start and stop, and all those things that he had before? Because an Achilles is a major injury, everybody. It's not like an ACL. It's like an ACL was 15 years ago. Now the ACL is like, oh yeah, he tore his ACL, he'll be back. At least that's the belief, considering the Lions drafted 2 guys who tore their ACL last year. One of them, by the way, is also not on the PUP list. And again, we're doing another video about players who did and did not start on the PUP list. You'll see that from me and Chris together. But I'm telling you right now, Achilles is a big injury. So I'm really cautiously optimistic and excited to see where Okudah's at. Does he look slow? Does he look quick? Does he look like he's hesitating? What does that look like? Is his mental, that time away from the game, did it allow him and the new coaching staff really to get in his brain and be like, hey, this is what it's like to be a cornerback in the NFL. You will get beat. You will lose battles. Get back in there. Get back in the fight, and let's be the number 1 corner that we drafted you to be. Well, the previous regime drafted you to be. So hopefully, what do you think? I think this is great news. Are you excited about Jeff Okudah and the health heading into training camp? He's not on the PUP list. What are your expectations for Okudah this year? Is he going to start all 17? Is he going to play all 17? Or is he a guy that's going to continue to struggle and we won't really be able to judge him until next year because he's not going to be 100% off that injury? Let me know what you think in the comments below. They're below the subscribe button. And while I'm talking about that subscribe button, hit that subscribe if you like the channel. If you like what we're doing, it would be super helpful to us. All right. Thanks. See you.